Leaders and members of a church on the east side say their church is under siege by squatters.
They say squatters are stealing utilities, that their pleas for help are being ignored by city leaders.
Tonight, Aryami Virgen investigates what's been happening at Missionary Baptist Church and what's now being done to fix it.
On a Sunday afternoon, these are the sounds most expect to be coming from this corner of Morning View on the east side. While they praise the Lord inside, those who live next door illegally,
we had to put locks on our water,
according to the city and the county,
locks on our plug-ins,
had other plans in mind. Plans that, according to the city of San Antonio's dangerous assessment team, included stealing electricity and water.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe also, but you know, everybody doesn't have higher beliefs.
put locks on everything.
And creating an overall dangerous nuisance for neighbors like Missionary Baptist Church.
Easter's coming, and this is where we do our Easter egg hunts.
We can't do that right now because we don't feel safe in even within our own communities.
Last week, the city's DART team hit this home on Morning View after a leader of the church emailed the city manager out of frustration.
The call started in October. One of our deacons, or several of our deacons, saw a wire coming from the house.
And ran it to our box on the pole across the street.
From October till March, no one would alleviate the problem, according to this church member who, out of fear for those who are squatting on the property, asked us to protect their identity. How many times did you call your counselor?
Starting at District 2, I've been calling him since the beginning of November until February, and they returned my call in February.
How many times did you call?
About, I'm going to say good 10, 11 times.
But according to a statement sent to us from District 2 Counselor Jalen McKee Rodriguez, they've been in contact with the church and others since December. Last Tuesday, not only did the city's DART unit order the squatters to vacate, but they also found many code violations. Fox San Antonio looked at the city's records and found these calls for 727 Morning View, calls for the structure being dangerous and issues with no water, to name a few. At the San Antonio Police Department, we uncovered 13 calls for service in the last year, including the body of a woman and stolen property. Do you think this would be happening if this was in Stone Oak?
No.
Why?
Because it's a better neighborhood. We're in the heart of the east side. We're in what they call a bad neighborhood.
What has most people scratching their heads, including Commissioner Tommy Calvert, is the fact that the county is the owner of the property after foreclosing it when the owner, whom the city says was deported to China, failed to pay.
We've got to make the bureaucracy recognize that they work for the people. The people of the church are victims of crime. They've been victims of theft. They've been victims of threat. They're living in fear.
Yesterday, Calvert held a meeting with a new task force that will include city and county offices to make sure this is not allowed to happen again.
It's a sad thing that my office has to call the city to enforce the DART process, but that's what we had to do. We should have been able to do that as a county. We've got to clean up some things to make sure that our departments are responsive to the needs.
The head of DART, which is a volunteer team made up of city employees, says this shows a much bigger problem that has not been addressed for many years: the sharing of information on properties the county forecloses onto the city.
Specifically, those properties that are subject to a DART, or those properties that have received a demolition order from the Building Standards Board. Those are recorded in the county clerk's office as soon as the orders are issued. However, there seems to be some lag and in communications and or the filing.
I'm going to have to bird dog this clearly. It's not acceptable.
On Tuesday, the county signed an agreement that gives consent to the city vacating and demolishing the house on Morning View. Yami Virgen, Fox News at 9.